This interview is from Chat City, Preston FM's mid-morning magazine show, live weekdays from 10 till noon.
But we move on, and I've got the delight of looking out of the studio window to beautiful downtown Cannon Street here in Preston. Yeah, I have that to look at out of my studio window. But somebody who probably has a far better view out of his window in London is my next guest, Josh Marshall. Josh, a very good morning to you.
Very good morning to you and all the listeners. Nice to speak to you.
And your view, I take it at the moment, is of what down there?
It is of the fantastic London skyline. I've always wanted to live here for a long time, and it's nice to get to wake up. I'm overlooking a park, and then in the little bit of a distance, there's the spire, there's Big Ben, there's the Egg. I think there's a real name for that building, but everyone just calls it the Egg. And it's a beautiful skyline, beautiful view.
Well, I know you were at UCLAN in Preston. I don't actually know if you're a Prestonian. Are you?
I'd like to class myself as an honorary Prestonian. I've spent 4 fantastic years, not 3, 4 whole years in Preston. I did my degree there. I studied journalism. I'm from Manchester, so I'm not too far afield. I class myself as an honorary Prestonian, and I think it says a lot about me that I still come back to the city pretty much every few months, regardless of where I am, because a lot of my life's there. Great.
Well, we're okay with that. We will bestow that title on you then, Josh.
Thank you.
And you were studying at UCLAN, doing broadcast journalism. You graduated in broadcast journalism. And over the weekend, I've been looking at YouTube and looking at the Glimpsed. And for our listeners, tell us a little who don't know about Glimpsed, what that's all about.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad that you spent a little bit of time watching the episodes. So I did broadcast. I graduated, and I struggled a little bit to find stable work. And I thought to myself, I have something that's going to capture the imagination of people that want to hire me. I don't just want to sit on my bottom and watch Netflix. I need to do something to create a visual CV. And as a journalist, what excites me is to ask questions, to tell stories, and to talk to people to find out, what makes people tick. So I thought, I am going to make something really bold and brash and really big that is going to be entertaining and informative, and also perhaps might help me get a job. So I thought, I'll go to America. I was chatting to some friends in the pub, and we kind of realised that a lot of what we know about America, we think we're brothers. We think that America and England are very similar because we share a language. But to be fair, a lot of what we think we know about America is just what's been piped in by their media, because it's their all-pervasive media, really. And I thought, what about the American stereotypes that we think we know of is actually true? And I wanted to go and see it from the point of an average Joe. So I got some camera gear. I planned 25 episodes, and essentially with some funding from myself and my parents and that kind of stuff, I flew off to America. And like Dick Whittington, basically, just without the cat in the knapsack, sort of just with a dream and a hope, and went off there and made this 25-part travel series exploring the main aspects of American culture, the stereotypes that we think of when we think of America, like guns or NASCAR or Republicans or burgers, those big themes that we think of. Yeah. And I went and I said, are they true? And I think, well, obviously you'd have to watch the episodes to find out.
Yeah, and that's right. I mean, I believe you made a statement saying you found that Americans are loud, they're quite fat, and their cars and roads are quite big, and society is brash. Is that a filmmaker's dream then, Josh?
America is a generalization, because America is so vast. I mean, that's one of the things I found. When we think of America, especially in the UK, we think of America from the media. We think of this generalized, accent. We think of New York, or we think of Washington. But America is as different within itself as Europe is. The Texans are so different from people from Seattle. I spent a lot of time along the East Coast, and and they were saying they class themselves as sort of like in a different country than, for example, people from the Deep South, because the cultural divisions and it is such, even geographically, such a vast country. Texas, just the state of Texas, is bigger than the United Kingdom. I think that, I think that Americans can be a little bit faster than the British. They can be quite loud. They do have very big cars and very big roads, but I see that as a positive. I enjoyed every second of being over there, it's a very, very, very interesting country.
And you've not really done any marketing for the video, but it has become very successful, hasn't it? And I can see why after viewing it over the weekend, and I know our listeners will be doing that. They'll be having a look after the interview. But it's caught the imagination.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I was actually on Fox News, which was very strange in America. So I'm this strange little British man going around America making these little, YouTube videos, and I got contacted by Fox News, and they were, I think they liked the story because I was the strange little British man going around, and I had this spot on Fox News in America, and they did the story on my show, and that got more people interested, and I ended up, I was able to. Even though I was just a British guy with a small camera kit going around, sort of like not with a lot of money, not really knowing what's going on, and I was using social media to arrange episodes. After the Fox News spot, I had people contacting me and saying, come along. I ended up going to a Native American Indian reservation and sleeping in a wigwam. I ended up going out, the National Rifle Association took me out for a weekend shooting. And they taught me all about the sport, and obviously we chatted about the controversial issue of firearms and firearm law in America, because that's a very big thing about America, the firearms. These experiences that, normally, just a guy going abroad with a camera to sort of do something off his own back wouldn't have the opportunity to do. So I had incredible opportunities to sort of document American culture. Do you have another question for me?
And I was just going to say, and the response from the Americans to you, suddenly wanting to interview them, or, you've got the camera there, you've got the microphone. How did you find them mainly in going on camera with you?
Yeah, the American people, this is a generic statement, but this is a stereotype I am more than happy to stand by, are so friendly. For example, I'm now in London, and people never speak to each other. Everyone has their personal bubble. Everyone's trapped on the tube. Everyone's sort of in their own space. But America is so different. Everyone is willing to chat to you, to help you. Your buddy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Everyone is so warm and friendly towards you. And I had no issue making compelling episodes. I'd say that half the reason why the episodes have been as successful as they are, and as interesting as they are, is because people were willing to open up and say, come and look into my life. That I, for example, I like NASCAR. Come along and film the NASCAR, find out what it's all about. Find out the truth behind the stereotype. That was the entire point of the show. I wanted to expose stereotypes, find out if they are true, but also what is life like for the actual people that live those things. And again, there's only so much you can do as a one-man band, because that was one of the unique factors about this, really. I was doing everything myself, so the planning, the pre-producing, the filming, the presenting, the editing, every process, apart from a couple of episodes where I got some local university students to help, was me. So it got these very comical situations where I'm, I went bull riding. That's another something I'll tell you about. I went bull riding at a rodeo, and there's a very comical situation where I'm setting up the camera, getting it looking, running round, doing an interview with someone, running back, taking the camera, changing position, setting it up, running around, getting on a bull riding. And so it's like a physical comedy, you should have the Benny Hill theme in the background, going, dun, 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 as I'm running around and sort of doing 9 people's jobs at once. But it was, very interesting. But Americans were incredibly friendly, very helpful, and it was an absolute privilege to be able to sort of go and document people's passions and unveil these stereotypes as actually massive, integral parts of the fabric of American culture.
And what about now then I mean, brilliant experience. What about the future? I mean, do you enjoy being behind the camera, or are you more relaxed in presenting, or is it a combination of both?
It's a combination of both. I mean, I don't know if I class myself as a presenter as such. I mean, I did the presenting. I mean, I have done presenting work. I enjoy it, but it's more about what's important to me is telling stories. And if I'm telling stories, on camera, or if I'm telling the stories by organising the programme, they're both a passion for me. I mean, since coming back to the UK, and because of the success of Glimpse, I've actually been offered a top producer position with a production company in London. So that I moved down 2.5 months ago, and I've been producing a series of big YouTube shows for a production company, and it's a position that I never dreamed I'd be able to be in. And if you'd asked me 6 months ago, do you think you'd be in London as a producer, I would have said no. I would have never imagined that. So the show really has worked in a sense of sort of like showing my skills. And I think that if anyone listening here was a student, or if anyone listening took one thing from listening to me, would be that sometimes you just have to get off your derriere and do something a little bit different, take a risk.
Yeah.
Don't just do the generic sending out a normal CV to 60 people and go sat there thinking, oh, why did no one get back to me? You've got to go and do something different and take risks and sort of, God knows, bake a cake with your CV inside and send it. But you know what I mean? You've got to do something different in today's job market to get a job, and I did, and it paid off. But yeah, perfect example. I'm there to tell stories, and if that's, for example, where I am now as a producer, or whether it's in front of the camera, I'm happy either way. I enjoy both of them, and the two are very interlinked.
And just quickly before I end the interview, how did you get interested in the first place in media, etc., and decide to take the course at UCLAN?
I dropped out of college because I struggled with academia, and I started working as a recruitment consultant. And I was working for this job, I was enjoying it, but I found that a lot of the time I was losing interest in the job, and I was on BBC News reading news. And I've always been quite into current affairs, and I was sat there and I was thinking one day, what if this is what I'm doing as my hobby, is like I'm interested in current affairs, why aren't I studying that? So I contacted UCLAN because they're very well renowned for journalism, and I ended up doing a foundation degree through UCLAN for the first year, and I worked at BBC Radio Lancashire as part of this foundation year, which was an absolute privilege. And then, so I started in radio, and then moved, did some print with the course, and then found my sort of love and passion in broadcast journalism, so radio, but more specifically television. And UCLAN is one of the leading universities for journalism.
Yes.
And, it was a great place to be.
Yeah, great. We have quite a few of the students here at Preston FM working on Chat City, which is really nice. So, for our listeners, I've got you up on screen here. They can go and see you on Josh Marshall, presenter, producer, and 2013 show reel, and they can see Glimpsed. I think, have you uploaded it all now, Josh?
I'll say it very quickly, but I actually had an accident. I was doing a bull riding episode, and I decided to actually have a go, and I rode a 2-ton bull for 6 seconds, and then fell off, and I injured myself a little bit, which is ironically funny enough, because the next episode after that was about healthcare.
Yes.
But yeah, so that kind of actually did cut short filming a little bit because of the injury. I'd fractured, dislocated my shoulder, and broke some ribs, and it was quite interesting. So what was the question again, Hughie?
It was, I was just saying that I think, have you now uploaded all the episodes that you filmed?
Oh yeah, sorry, that was it. Yeah. So because of that, and that obviously threw a spanner in the works, or threw, if you want to phrase it. So there's 6 more episodes to go to be edited and uploaded, and I'm trying to do them periodically, as not to put everything up too soon. So people, if they subscribe to the channel on YouTube, they still have episodes to look forward to. I've got about 16 episodes up currently, and there's about 5 or 6 more to go. So I originally planned 25. I've ended up doing 22, but but I think that's not a bad number. That's a fair whack, and it'll keep anyone entertained for a while. And if anyone's considering going to America, mine's the series to watch.
Yeah, I certainly agree. Okay, well, nice to talk to you, Josh, this morning.
You too.
And when you're next in Preston or heading this way, let us know.
I will do. Yeah, pleasure to talk to you too. And I think if anyone wants to watch the show, just Google "glimpsed show" as one word into YouTube, or Google, or however you want to Google. Just "glimpsed show" as one word. So that's how you'll find it. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much, Hughie. And I'll definitely pop in next time I'm in Preston.
Okay, and enjoy your day off.
Thank you very much.
Okay, cheers. Thanks, Josh. Bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to our podcasts. But don't forget, Chat City is live weekdays from 10 till noon on 103.2 Preston FM.